Greetings, and salutations, one and all. Welcome to the night shift. Yeah, you get the last symbol and the crash. Yeah. That means, yes, we have begun officially. Welcome to the night shift. It's a Wednesday night. Happy hump day to you. Happy hump night. Take that any way you want to. I want to say big ups to all those who have it locked in right now, those tuning in on rockthebox.net and all the Rockthebox affiliates. Of course, those tuned in on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew on TuneIn. Those who are on PEMGTV.com across the pond, wherever you are. Those, of course, on the home of the night shift, KevinStew.com. Welcome. Glad to have you. Couldn't do it without you, and believe me, I wouldn't even try.
Let them talk. Yo, Baba, Brata, Lava Man the Dragon, Mass we come for.
Kicking it up for the Lava Man.
So I come, how you come, girl and roam, and so I come to shell it up. So I come, so I
yeah, we'll have to start off the misunderstanding right.
mad like me, well, you know, I bring the drum and just turn. If you see me come, don't say turn it down. Till I know I'm rolling on drum.
The track is called So I Come. I want to say thanks to Paul C Media Group for sponsoring this initial segment. When being in a moment is priceless. They give you a live moment or a captured moment. Either way, when being in the moment is priceless. Give them a call. 754-999-6020. Tell them Kevin Stew sent you. The track is called So I Come. It's Lava Man.
Them talk. Yo, Baba, Brata, Lava Man the Dragon, Mass we come for. So I come, how you come, girl and roam, so I come to shell it up. So I come, how you come, mad like none, mad like me, well you know, I bring the drum and just turn. If you see me drum, don't say turn it down. Wait till I know I'm rolling on drum. Can't back it up and make your waist come. So I come, how you come, girl and roam, so I come to shell it up. So I come, how you come, mad like none, mad like me, well send them. Come and drum and I turn and I'm mashing up place and I'm shelling it down. If you see people inside of the place and they begging me to hold it down. So I come, mash up it and shell it down the town. So I come, mass is lots of girl. Mass with the squad and the crew, mass on the road and the whole avenue. Mass when you're drunk and you're seeing them too, and you're holding your girl and she looking at you. So I come, how you come, girl and roam, so I come to shell it down. So I come, how you come, mad like none, mad like me when send them come. Baba, Plata, Lava Man, real mad on the Dragon, mad Canadian. So I come,
Numbers to call, numbers to text to get you in touch.
girl and roam, so I come to shell it down.
773-789-STEW.
Mad like none, mad like me when
That's 773-789-7839.
mash up it and shell it down the town. So I come, mass is lots of girl. So I come, how you come, girl and roam, so
It's called The Night Shift.
so
Happens every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night,
how you come, mad like none,
10 to midnight Eastern time.
so I come, mash up it and shell it down the town.
Right here on KevinStew.com.
So I
On TuneIn, The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew.
how you come, girl and roam, so I come to shell it down. So I come,
I want to say big ups to the other Night Shift crew tuned in tonight. The one from the Night Shift crew from Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital. Big ups to Megan.
Mad like me when send them come. So I come.
Happy landing, sweetie.
So I come. How you come? Mad like none. Mad like me when send them come. So
When your baby comes around,
attention it down your turn. So I come.
you can tell the story.
So girl, let you run.
That's how you come.
So I come. How you come? Girl and rum. So I come to share it down. So
Of course, those around you
I come.
would probably misinterpret that.
Mad like me when send them come. So I come. Mash up attention it down your turn. So I come. Masses lots of
But you know what?
Tell them we mad. We mad.
Just because.
Bow. Them say they wanna test me. Bow. Them say they wanna test me. Bow. Them say they wanna test me. Panic when you go get sweet.
This is King Boba FM.
Bow. Them say they wanna test me. Bow. Them say they wanna test me.
Track is called Panic.
Panic when you go get sweet. Them can't keep up. One talking, mama creep up. Every girl back it up.
As you guys are down there celebrating the
Like we get girl like we.
soon arrival of Megan's baby.
With the streams that them for free. Can't drink like we. Bet like we. Get girl like we. Mash up show like we. Can't count money like we. Rhythm
I just hope you don't panic.
jump up and put your hands up. Hands up. Jump up and put your hands up.
But that would be funny.
Up and put your hands up. Fingers up like you're bossing the shot. Whoa. Them say they wanna test me.
A bunch of nurses from the pediatric hospital
Panic.
panicking
See. Whoa. Them say they wanna test me. Whoa. Them
because their co-worker is about to give birth.
wanna test me. Panic when they go get sweet. Them can't keep up. One talking, mama creep up. Every girl back it up. So watch out, me friends gone up. Stand up. None of them boys that are bad like we. None of them boys that are tough like we. None of them boys that are bad like we. None of them boys that are bad like we. None of them boys that are
Oh, you're on a roll with these memes. 773-789 Stu gets you in touch. 773-789-7839.
up like you're bossing my shot. Whoa. Them say they wanna test me. Whoa. Them say they wanna test me. Whoa. Them say they wanna test me.
So tonight,
Panic when you go get sweet. Whoa. Them say they wanna test me. Whoa. Them say they wanna test me. Whoa.
you're very welcome
Panic when
to the other night shift crew.
them can't keep up. One talking, mama creep up. Every girl back it up. So
Y'all tempting me to change my show tonight, you know.
like we, bet like we, get girl like we, mash up show like we.
This is a talk show.
Rhythm streams that never
Well, part of it anyway.
like we, bet like we, get girl like we, mash up show like we. Can't count money like we. Rhythm streams that never.
Alright, I'll give you one more.
Jump up and put your hands up. Hands up. Jump up and put your hands up. Hands up. Jump up and put your hands up. Fingers up like you're bossing a shot. Whoa. Them say they wanna test me. Whoa. Them say they wanna test me. Whoa. Them say they wanna test me. Panic.
Last one for you ladies before I start talking. 11 minutes after the hour. Tonight we're talking about misunderstandings. So don't misunderstand me, you know. The last one before I start on the topic for tonight. Not the last one for the night. Just to make it clear. Was it big ups to guest 321 in the chat room on kevinstew.com. Hey, Joe DiMaggio, night shift crew. Tell you what. One night I'll do a little thing just for you guys, okay? What kind of music y'all like? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Right now, be wild.
Yeah, that's for you. 3, 2, 1 in the chat room.
Team wild. Jump up, everybody jump up, jump up. Bring the crew one star, jump up.
I give you a high five.
Everybody jump up.
4,
Take it over. It's
3, 2, 1. Guess 3, 2, 1 in the chat room.
crew one star, jump
Get it?
up. Jump up, everybody jump up. Now we take it over. It's sound. Yo, Baba. Big thing mad.
Father Fox. A track called Vibes Overload.
Real vibes. Yo, walk on.
Alright, so
Take it over. It's down. Stick. Mad people.
it happens way too often where
Boy, and the whole family. We take it over.
if you didn't post, that is my post. For tonight's show, I say one thing, you hear another. Like, I was talking to someone today and talking about what the topic is for the show tonight, and they said, you know, here's the thing. I'm responsible for what I say. I'm not responsible for what you hear. And if you are hearing something different from what I am saying, that means you're not listening. You get it? Cool. Make sure you write that down. Social conflicts often involve some type of misunderstanding. And it seems somehow that although women blame men for a bunch of things that happen to them, mental anguish, menstrual cramps, you name it. Anything that bothers a woman apparently starts with a man. However, the one thing that causes conflicts with both genders, anywhere in the world you may go, under any rock, to the depths of any ocean, to the heights of any mountain, is misunderstanding. You know her? Misunderstanding. Yeah, her. And DYCR even has a song. I'm going to play that song tonight, that DYCR. Oh, you like it like that? Okay, I got y'all JDM crew. I got you. The night shift crew. And y'all have, it must be the best crew in that hospital. I got you. All right, so here it is. Everybody knows her. This lady, misunderstanding, causes all kind of problems. And like I said, I will definitely play that DYCR for y'all later on. If I can find it. Yeah, putting myself in trouble with that one. If I can find it. I know I have it around somewhere. But parties in conflict communicate by what they say or do. And how they behave toward each other. Even normal interaction may involve faulty communication. But conflicts seem to worsen the problem, whatever the problem may be. Once it gets to that little section where you have a bit of a disagreement, the conflict, here it comes. When two people are in conflict, they often make negative assumptions about the other, and consequently, a statement that might have seemed innocuous when two parties were friends might seem hostile or even threatening when they're having an argument, when they're having a dispute. Now, I'm pretty sure, if not everybody hearing the show right now, then almost everybody has been in this situation. All communication has two parts. A sender and a receiver. You listening to the show right now, you're receiving. You are receiving me. And I am over here giving myself to you. How you like that? Greetings to guest 666. I don't know. You might want to change your name. I don't know. The guest numbers are given out randomly. I have nothing to do with it. Just making sure that you know So the sender has a message that they want to transmit, and they put it in words, which to them at the time best reflect what they're thinking. But many things can intervene to prevent the intended message from being received accurately. Here it is. That lady pops up her head. Misunderstanding. If the communication is verbal, tone of voice can influence interpretation. The boss's words. Hey, I noticed you were taking an especially long break this morning. That could be interpreted as an attack if that is said in a disapproving tone. While the comment might be seen as a minor reminder about office rules, it was said in a friendly way. If the employee has a health problem that sometimes requires long breaks, the comment might have even been a friendly inquiry about what was happening and whether the employee needed any help. At this point, tone of voice, as well as situational and relationship factors, would influence the interpretation of the message. Let me present that message another way. Hey, it's written only one way, I promise you. Let me present it a couple of ways. Hey, I noticed you were taking an especially long break this morning. That's one. I noticed you were taking an especially long break this morning. That's another. Hey, I noticed that you were taking an especially long break this morning. That's another. 3 different tones. Could be received 3 different ways. Non-verbal cues are also important. Is the sender's posture open and friendly, or closed and cold? Is the facial expression friendly or accusatory? Ooh, here now we're in trouble. All these factors influence how the same words are received. In addition to how the message is sent, many additional factors determine how the receiver interprets the message. All new information we learn is compared with the knowledge we already have. If it confirms what we already know, we will likely receive the new information accurately, though we may pay little attention to it. So it's kind of a situation. If it calls into question our previous assumptions or interpretation of the situation, we may distort it in our minds so that it's made to fit our worldview, the personal view. Or we just may dismiss the information as deceptive, misguided, and or simply wrong. Nope. Don't want anything to do with it. It is just wrong. Now, if the message is ambiguous, the receiver is especially likely to clarify it for themselves in a way which corresponds with their expectations. Example. If 2 people are involved in an escalated conflict and they each assume that the other is going to be aggressive and hostile, then any ambiguous message will be interpreted as aggressive and hostile. If it was not intended to be that way at all, well, then too bad, because that is how it is received. Our expectations work as blinders or filters that distort what we see. So, in processing it, it fits our preconceived images of our world. Conflict theorists would term these things as the filters as frames, or they would talk about it as reframing. An analogy can be made to an experiment that tested people's interpretation of visual cues. When people were given eyeglasses that turned the world upside down, they had to suffer through the upside down images for, I don't know, probably about a week or two, maybe. But after that, their brains learned to reverse the images because our brains are sophisticated machines. So what happened now is that they start seeing things right side up again. Brain just processes it that way. The same thing happens when we hear something that we know, quote unquote, know is wrong. Our brains decide that, okay, we're going to fix it. That way, it appears as we expect it to. So, we got the information one way, and our brains decided to process it so that we can accept it another. 773-789-STEW gets you in touch. 773-789-7839. You can call, you can text. For those who are listening far away, if you're on social media, if you're on Facebook, you can reach out to me that way. Hit me up on Facebook Messenger through the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew or DJ Kevin Stew. And Skype is also available, kevin.stew, or you can use my email to find me, djkevinstew@gmail.com. Yeah, got that? Cool. Moving on. I'd love to hear from you, though. The chat room is available, kevinstew.com. The stew pot is there. Yeah, I promise you I'm going to rename the chat room the stew pot. So, another thing that can increase the likelihood of misunderstandings is culture. Now, differences in culture can cause different issues. Not because anybody wants to, but that's just how it is. If people speak different languages, well, bad translation can cause a problem. But if people speak the same language, they can also communicate in different ways. Because, let's use, for example, people who are Southerners versus people from up north. Two different types of cultures. Or if you want to be more specific, New Yorkers versus someone from New Orleans. You see what I'm saying? Differences in culture. Common differences are between high context and low context communication. Low context communication stands on its own. It does not require context or interpretation to give it any meaning. High context communication, that's more ambiguous. It requires background knowledge and understanding. So it requires context. In addition to the words themselves for communication, everything else needs to be put into place. While everyone uses both kinds of communication, Western cultures tend to use low context communication more often, while Eastern and Latin American and African cultures tend to use high context communication. Now, if such differences are not understood and adjusted for, that is when you have misunderstandings without fail. Culture also affects communication by influencing the recipient's assumptions. Now, as we mentioned before, our minds tend to twist incoming information to make it fit our worldview. And since different cultures have different worldviews, cross-cultural communication is especially likely to change meaning between sender and receiver. And the sender may have a different worldview from the receiver. So Eh. Here is where that lady pops up and we have misunderstanding. Given our tendency to hear what we expect to hear, sometimes called hearing what we want to hear, it is very easy for people to conflict, people in conflict to misunderstand each other. Communication is already likely to be strained, and people will often want to hide the truth to some extent or give their version of the truth. Thus, the potential for misperceptions and misunderstanding. No, it's not just misunderstanding alone. She brought a friend. Misperception. The potential for that is high. And that makes conflict management or resolution extremely difficult. But not impossible. Difficult, yes. Impossible, not so much. So we started out with one lady causing problems, misunderstanding, and she went out and she brought back a friend. And I know I'm going to get a whole lot of flack for saying this about ladies, but I get to do that sometimes. It's real talk. 773-789-STEW gets you in touch. 773-789-7839. We're going to take a quick little break. And when we come back, we talk a little bit more. We get to find out how we can hide out and avoid misunderstanding. How to avoid misunderstanding when we come back. It's the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew right here. KevinStew.com, rockthebox.net, PEMGTV.com, and all the other affiliates. We'll be right back.
It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. Become a host today and place a TV monitor in a strategic location so it's easy to see. Get a 1-minute video ad or longer that plays anywhere in our network. Can't be a host? No problem. For a few dollars, we'll run your 30-second video ad. A host can run announcement specials like buy one get one free or discount ads. Let's turn your flyers into a 30-second video with music or a voiceover, or let us create and run your video ad with a spokesperson. Take advantage of our early enrollment discount. Join us today. Your ad will be seen at least 30 times per day in your AdShare TV neighborhood. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. AdShare TV, part of Pulse Media Group.
Music and Grave Lounge presents ISM, Mr. Vegas album release party, Saturday, September 15 at Grave Lounge, 4519 North Pine Island Road, Sunrise, Florida. ISM, Mr. Vegas, 20 years of hits, featuring Renaissance Disco, DJ Wizard, hosted by TC Flex and Jody and Gray. For info, 954-740-3258. That's 954-740-3258. Thanks, Mr.
Are you crazy about the music industry? You aspire to hit it big in music? Or maybe you've sweated out a soulful killer beat and are now stuck finding it's not as easy as it looked. Oh, but it can be easy for you with JTMC. We've been there, we know how it feels, so we solve challenges like production, promotion, marketing, branding and development, and more. With over 30 years of experience, JTMC is a one-stop shop for artists. We handle your graphic design, writing services, PR, as well as event planning, e-blasts, artist management, and bookings, so also your website and social media needs as well. We're experts in using creativity to persuade audiences on behalf of artists, drawing on our diverse experience to create projects that connect with audiences intellectually and emotionally. Artist success is everything to us, and our years of experience and commitment will be behind you for every one of your needs. If you've got music for the world to hear, whether you're a new or established artist, visit us at jtmcenterprise.com.
We're off to an early start for a long hot summer, but beat the heat with a dash of lemongrass refresher. This cool thirst quencher is a low sugar beverage made from the fevergrass plant, which has antioxidants, several wellness properties, and is a great lifestyle drink for all ages. Ah, that hits the spot. It's a new great taste. Have one today. Dash Lemongrass Refresher, distributed by Carib Atlantic Distributors. Call 954-614-0919. That's 954-614-0919. Life's a dash. Live well.
Matthew 28:19 says, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations." With this in mind, and encouragement received during a South Florida media conference, The Church Links was birthed. The Church Links is an interdenominational worship service portal for churches, providing the tools to spread the word through technology in a cost-effective way. The Church Links, www.dahchurchlinx.com, your links to worship and praise.
Hi, this is Cara Manti, and you're listening to DJ Kevin Stew, and this is The Night Shift.
Want to remind everybody about Paint, Music, and Drink, the Paint and Sip event happening this Saturday at the Moments to Remember Studios. You definitely don't want to miss this. It is $50 per person, and it includes paintbrushes, canvas, food, drinks, and music. All they ask is that you pre-register. Give them a call. The number to call, 954-226-8029 or 561-777-0557. And it is an RSVP event. So you definitely want to RSVP for this. Doors open at, the event is officially kicking off at 7. But I do believe the doors open a little bit before that, like 6:30. But official time, 7 o'clock p.m. 7 in the evening, just to clear that all up, so that there's no misunderstanding. Yes, that's what the show is all about tonight. So, Paint, Music, and Drink with Paul Campbell, actor Paul Campbell. Yeah, some of you might know him or remember him from movies like Dancehall Queen and Shatters. Yeah, Paul Campbell, actor and poet, and he's also an artist. And Mark Cameron, who's a chef and also an artist. So there'll be complimentary appetizer, good music, definitely good food, and you get to do some painting. Understand this. You'll be taught tips. You'll be given tips on painting. If you have always had that little artsy bug, this will help you. And what you do for the evening, you get to take home. Just make sure you bring your, what's it called, a smock? Yeah. Your garment protection. Or you wear clothes that you can get messy. I don't know. But it is guaranteed to be a good event. Paint and sip. So, can't beat that.
Misunderstanding is not a good thing, you know. It can put you into bad trouble. I know Miss Jones and I know Miss Joe, but I don't know misunderstanding. Please don't let me be misunderstood. I know a man by the name of Joe that live way down into the country and way up into the hills. That man have nothing like electricity. So him not no TV when him watch, and him not no radio when him listen to. Him only have a little mongrel dog with bark and keep him company. Him can't read, so him not read the papers, and every now and then him come to town to buy another machete or a file. So me I tell you, say, Joe people them will live into America. Tell him say them go and file teams to come up and live. Joe talk to himself, same people them mean to say that them will buy my big file to sharp me machete. So Joe tell them say alright. Them man was explained to him that them was gonna look about the papers for him to come up and live in America. So Joe begin to pack him favorite shoes and him favorite socks, him favorite hat and him favorite pants, and him favorite everything into his case. He nearly pack all in dog Bruno too. So you know, say Joe is a man when they not go left him machete, because him is a real cutlass man. So Joe put him machete within the case. And when time he reach at the American embassy, the immigration officers then begin to search the case and find the machete in it, and ask him, say, tell us, Joe, what are you doing with this machete? Him say, I wanted to chop bush, sir. I'm a real machete man. Him say, what you wanted this machete to do? Him say, I want to chop bush with it, sir. I am a real machete man. I know to angle this cutlass. You see it sharp and bevel. I would chop from the bass and to the treble. I would chop from the heel and to the level. Because time is hard and time is tough, and it is rough. That's the reason why I have to have my cutlass. So by this time, Joe thought to himself that making such a statement that he was defending himself, not knowing that he was putting himself deeper and deeper into hard trouble and hot water. So now the immigration officers them take him and lock him up and point a day into court and to him. And the day of court, the judge said to Joe, said, Joe, I understand that your crime is that you say that you're gonna chop bush with this machete. Him say, yes, your honor, I am here, I'm gonna chop bush with this machete. I am not here to sell opium, cocaine, heroin, morphine, or marijuana. I'm not here to sell crack. I am here to chop, and I'm here to chop bush with this machete. I would chop from the bass and to the treble. I would chop from the heel and to the level. I am here to chop, sir. What a thing happened to poor old Joe just because of misunderstanding. They thought that Joe was saying that he wanted to chop up the American president with the machete. So it's best for you to say that you're gonna chop grass and you're going to chop weed, but don't say that you're gonna chop bush, because Joe right now end up into prison and there he shall rot just because of misunderstanding. So misunderstanding is not a good thing, me I tell you. It can cause you much pain. It can cause
pain. It can cause despair. Only because of that lady misunderstanding. And like we said before the break, she brought a friend. Misperception. This segment is brought to you courtesy of GMAC Music Solutions. They bring music to life, and they bring your live event to life. They'll provide you with audio that you need. They can provide you with audio engineering. They can provide you with just the equipment. You get background vocalists if you want. You get MCs, DJs, lighting for your stage. They have the hookup to make your live event an event. Give them a call. Tell them you heard about them from me, Kevin Stew, and you even get more of a hookup. 754-307 GMAC is a number that you use to get in touch with them. 754-307-4622. That's GMAC Music Solutions. Or you can look them up. GMACmusicsolutions.com. Cool. Looking forward to music coming out from GMAC too. See, we in this business, I am going to the studio. I hear Rockwell talking about it. GMAC has done it. Joanna Marie does it. I am going to the studio. What exactly am I going to do at the studio? Yet to be determined. But I am going to the studio. Alright, so welcome back to the show. Those of you who are still with us, those of you who are just joining, welcome to the show. It's a night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It's Real Talk Wednesdays, and tonight we're talking about misunderstanding. Right now, we're going to look at how to avoid misunderstanding. If you can. Now, in conflict situations, avoiding misunderstanding takes a lot of effort. Roger Fisher and William Ury list 4 skills that it can improve communication in conflict situations. The first is active listening. Now, this is not where someone is talking to you and you're doing other things, walking around, etc. Not that kind of active listening. The goal of active listening is to understand your opponent. Why exactly they would use opponent? I don't know. But understand the other person that is speaking as well as yourself. Pay close attention to what the other side is saying. Ask the person to clarify or repeat anything that is unclear or seems unreasonable. Maybe, just maybe, it is not unreasonable, but you are interpreting it wrong. See that misperception person again? Yeah. Attempt to repeat their case just the way they have presented it. And if you want to put it in a way that you understand it for clarity, you do that too. This now shows that you are listening, which suggests that you actually care about what is being said. And that you understand what was said also. It does not indicate that you agree with what they're saying. And it doesn't mean that you have to agree. You just need to indicate that you understand. So that's the first thing. Active listening. The second thing is to speak directly to the person who is speaking to you. It's not considered appropriate in some cultures, however. But when allowed, it helps to increase understanding. Avoid being distracted by others or by other things going on in the same room. Focus on what you have to say and on saying it in a way that the person you're talking to can understand. Now, I get it. In our current work world, things are so fast-paced that sometimes you can't focus on an individual talking to you. But for the sake of clarity and understanding, you don't want to be distracted. You really don't. As I'm talking to you now, you could be doing other things. That's fine. I cannot see you, but you can see me. And I have to remain focused. You see me looking at you? You see? No, stop that. Stop. Okay. Thank you. The third rule is to speak about yourself, not about the person that you're speaking to. In the case of conflict, you don't want to speak about your opposer or your opponent. Go ahead and describe your own feelings and your own perceptions, rather than focusing on your opponents or the person that is speaking to you, focusing on their motives, misdeeds, or failings by saying things like, I felt let down. It is different, but means the same thing as you broke your promise. Same information, same message. In a way, doing that doesn't provoke a defensive or a hostile reaction from the person you're speaking to. It is often referred to as using I statements or I messages. Just don't do it with an I device. But it sends I statements and I messages rather than you messages. You messages suggest blame and encourage the recipient to deny wrongdoing or to blame in return. So now it becomes back and forth. iMessages simply state a problem without blaming someone for it. This makes it easier for the other side to help solve the problem without having to admit they were wrong. Because ultimately, you're trying to get to a common place with as little conflict as possible. Fisher and Urey's fourth rule is speak for a purpose. Too much communication can be counterproductive. Before you make a significant statement, pause. Think about what it is you want to communicate, why you want to communicate that particular thing, and how you can do it in the clearest possible way. This is where you don't jump to conclusions. This is where you don't assume. And you know what happens when you assume. Other rules might be added to those particular rules. One of them, to avoid inflammatory language as much as possible. Inflammatory language just increases hostility and defensiveness. And it seldom convinces people that the speaker is right. It actually does the opposite. Although inflammatory remarks can arouse people's interest in a conflict and generate support for one's own side, that support often comes at the cost of general conflict escalation. Making one's point effectively without inflammatory statements is a much better solution, or a much better option. Now, all opponents should be treated with respect. Everybody involved. And it doesn't help a conflict situation to treat people disrespectfully. Not at all. It just makes them angry and less likely to listen to you. Even less likely to understand you. And worse off, probably will never do what you want. No matter what you think of another person, if they are treated with respect and dignity, even if you think they do not deserve it, communication will be much more successful. And the conflict will be more easily managed or resolved. In most cases. I've had some situations where it really doesn't matter how much you try to respect that other person. They put themselves down so badly that even with you being silent, you're being disrespectful. You know, you're taught if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything at all. I've been caught with that, and either way, I lose. Engaging in deep conversations through even problem-solving workshops or dialogue. Tips, you get tips, you get pointers, you learn a thing or two. They can also reduce misunderstanding by improving relationships. Just engaging in deep conversation. Sounds simple enough, right? By providing more context to communication and by breaking down stereotypes, I contribute to the negative characterizations of worldviews. Deep conversations change everything. The more effort one makes to understand the person sending the message, the more likely the message will be understood correctly. Now, there are some current time applications to this. And when I say current time, I mean right now, as we're in a time of political, what would I call it? There's a lot of politics in the air. Political excitement. And it particularly highlights high context cultures with low context cultures. Right now in the US, especially with the primary elections being just yesterday, you see how there can be cultural misunderstanding between groups that appear on the surface to be quite similar. Who? The Republicans and the Democrats. And they're mostly all low context communicators. Yet they seem to be almost completely talking past each other. Each sees the world in a fundamentally different way. Their interests are different, their understanding of the facts is different, their reasoning and advocating various policies are different. And some of this difference is the result of media manipulation. And I'm pretty sure the ladies are going to jump up now and say, ah, there it is, manipulation. Well, yes. There's media manipulation. And with this media manipulation, it not only spawns misunderstanding, but here comes distrust and even hatred as a result of propaganda. Because life and death lies in the power of the tongue. The only thing the media has is words, whether verbally or on paper. And we also know that the pen is mightier than the sword, right? Words. Extreme stereotyping of the other also prevents effective cross-communication. So when communication between groups occurs, which, well, becomes increasingly rare as we self-segregate into different parts of the country, the messages are very likely to be misinterpreted. A lot needs to be done to get the right and the left communicating properly, effectively. Well, actually, a lot is required to get to communicate at all. But once they start, mediators or facilitators are going to be needed to try to reduce misunderstanding and to build a groundwork for coexistence and tolerance. This is one area where every individual can make a difference. When we talk to our family members, we have different belief systems. For example, you want to take care to use good conflict communication skills. Use empathic listening and I messages instead of escalatory communication. This grave conflict within the US is only going to be diffused, if at all, one conversation at a time. And it is quite dependent on all of us to start having these disarming, de-escalatory conversations. We can't wait for somebody else to do it. At this level, where we're hanging out at baby showers and we're chilling with our friends, painting and sipping some wine. These at these levels is where it starts. Because this now is the grassroots of the community. So, what are you going to do? What's the position that you're going to take? Are you going to start doing empathic listening? What is empathic listening, you ask? We'll talk about it in just a few.
Baby, oh yeah.
3 minutes to the top of the hour. This is Wayne Wonder.
A little understanding. Baby, baby, baby. A little understanding. A little understanding.
That's the title of the track, Little Understanding.
I have done so
We're gonna take a quick little break.
I'm not perfect, I'm not always right. Like the sun,
Give you some time to use the bathroom and make a phone call.
all we need, baby.
And jag up a friend and say, listen, I was still talking for another about 20 minutes, you know.
Understand you, baby.
Come participate in this true conversation.
Understand you,
Not conning anybody tonight.
a little understanding.
Gonna take a quick little break. When we come back, we talk a little bit more, yeah? 773-789 gets you in touch. 773-789-7839 or jump into the chat room, kevinstew.com.
It would take a year to say.
We'll be right back.
The award-winning Palace Peace and Love Academic Scholarship is appealing for your support to help educate one student at a time in Jamaica and the Caribbean.
Palace awarded 492 scholarships and several computers to university and high school students in Jamaica and the Caribbean over the past 7 years, valued at approximately 33 million Jamaican dollars, $250,000 US.
Importantly, our university graduates to date include 15 medical doctors, 10 lawyers, 6 engineers, and 15 fine arts students. Our goal is to award at least 105 scholarships in 2018.
Please partner with us to make this a reality for those well-deserving, hard-working students by making a tax-deductible donation online at www.palace1.org
or send a check to Palace, P.O. Box 5461, Alpharetta, Georgia 30023 USA, or telephone 770-744-2154.
Palace, preserving young minds for posterity.
I'm in almost every school bus and classroom. You see me around the neighborhood and you tell me that I'm a pretty good kid. Well, I'm one out of every 5 children in America, and I'm struggling with hunger. Please visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank for ways to help. Every dollar you donate helps provide 8 meals for kids like me. We are Feeding America, brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
When being in the moment is priceless, consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse eMedia Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse eMedia Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulseemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse eMedia Group, when being in the moment is priceless.
Hi, this is Cara Manti, and you're listening to DJ Kevin Stew, and this is The Night Shift.
Before I could run, I found you already settled down in the back of my mind. I know this is just a customary feeling. The moon is our deceiver that will leave you running blind. Your heart is pulling. If I didn't know any better, I'd be falling deeper and deeper. It's true. I hear you calling. If I didn't know any better, and I'd be in love mountain of fire. I know this is just a beautiful illusion, a case of the confusion between love and desire. Your heart is pulling. If I didn't know any better, I'd be falling deeper and deeper. It's true. I hear you calling. If I didn't know any better, and I'd be in love when the flame burned down and said, I can hear you calling, and you forget I ever came around.
This is the sound of Wild Tree featuring Annette Brissett. A track called If I Didn't Know Any Better. I want to welcome you back to the show. If you're just tuning in, welcome to the show. It's a night shift with me, DJ Kevin Stew. It's Real Talk Wednesday. We're talking about misunderstandings. This segment of the show is brought to you courtesy of JTMC Enterprises, providing you with marketing and promotion services beyond your wildest dreams, way surpassing your expectations. So the question is, what is empathic listening? Because that was a new phrase that I just tossed in there before we went on the break. What's empathic listening? It's the same thing as active listening. So it is where we are locked in to the person that is communicating with us. And it's one of those things that helps to build trust and respect. It enables the disputants to release their emotions. It reduces tensions. It encourages the surfacing of information, and it creates a safe environment that is conducive to collaborative problem solving. In other words, it is one of those things that is useful for everybody involved in a conflict. Very useful. But the ability and willingness to listen with empathy is often what sets someone who would be considered a mediator. That's what sets them apart from others that are involved in the conflict. Because they're doing all these things in an attempt to bring about a meaningful resolve. Yes, there is just a resolve, but you want to have a meaningful resolve. One where people leave the argument, the conflict, with a better understanding of the other. And those of you who are more familiar with me and what I consider to be my motto, we try to have acceptance through enlightenment. And that puts a spin on one of the words that is probably one of the most negative words in the English language. You can use that, my little mantra. You can make an acronym out of it. Having acceptance through enlightenment. Yeah, hate. You figured it out, right? Thanks to the crew over there at Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital, the night shift crew. Big ups to you. Big ups, big ups. You're very welcome. So, even when conflict is not resolved during mediation, the listening process can have a profound impact on the parties. And that helps in any conflict at all, whether it be marriage counseling. The counselor is the mediator. When you have conflict resolution, whomever it is that neutral party, that's the mediator. Any kind of conflict. A boxing match, the referee is pretty much a mediator. Yeah, it's a sport, and nobody's really listening, but everybody is communicating and paying attention to what the other is saying. And the referee is watching that carefully. The umpire, whomever it is, mediators, always watch the middleman. So, how do you go about doing? Well, we actually did look at how to actively listen. And what mediators do to be able to control negotiations, they use their willingness to let the other parties dominate the discussion. They use attentiveness to what is being said. They make sure to try hard to not interrupt. They use open-ended questions. The sensitivity to the emotions being expressed is high. And they express the ability to reflect to the other party the substance and feelings being expressed. Now, the power of empathic listening in volatile settings is reflected in what Madeline Burnley Allen describes of the skilled listener. And she says, when you listen well, you acknowledge the speaker. You increase the speaker's self-esteem and confidence. You tell the speaker, you are important, and I am not judging you. You gain the speaker's cooperation. You reduce the stress and tension. Build teamwork. Gain trust. Elicit openness. You gain a sharing of ideas and thoughts, and you obtain more valid information about the speakers and the subject. And to get these results, a skilled listener takes information from others while remaining non-judgmental and empathic, and acknowledges the speaker in a way that invites the communication to continue, and also provides a limited but encouraging response. And in so doing, it carries the speaker's idea one step forward. In other words, they get that much closer to meaningful resolution. And whenever there's a conflict, that's pretty much where you want to get to. The point of meaningful resolution. Now, when you have a job, when you are working, this is one of the places that conflict, misunderstandings, misperceptions, misinterpretation, that's easy to come by. just like every day. All you have to do is show up and it is there. All those things are there. From long email chains to group projects without clear roles. These are common ways communication at work goes, I don't know, sideways. If you have ever had to clear up a situation at work because you were misquoted or misinterpreted, you know how easily it is for actions and words to be misconstrued. Misunderstandings are rooted in communication, and we often end up getting derailed because we are too busy to get clarification. Happens way too often. Pick a job. That's just the nature of working, especially in the US. You're always on the grind, always on the grind. General Fern Anderson, owner of the communication consulting firm Working Conversations and author of Head On, How to Approach Difficult Conversations Directly, says, we want others to agree with us. And in our current culture of too much and of too much to do, and not enough time to do it, we often jump to conclusions when in fact we haven't asked enough questions or engaged them effectively to find out if they agree or not. There are 5 common situations that lead back to misunderstandings and how you can get everyone back on the same page. When dividing responsibilities is the first one. When people work together on a team, everyone's role needs to be clear. Any ambiguity can lead to misunderstandings. At the beginning of a project, put responsibilities and expectations in writing and have regular check-ins to make sure everyone is clear about their part. That's project management. It is important for everyone to see their peers contributing, all working towards a goal, and ensuring that everyone's roles are defined so that you can avoid confusion or discontent because others are not doing their fair share. What is then the fair share? Well, it is whatever you define it to be. Make sure you define that fair share, that your portion, that other person portion, that third person portion. Define that on the outset. That way nobody has any questions to ask. The other thing is communicating company goals. Most leaders believe they communicate the big picture, such as goals, strategies, issues, and projects. Big picture information. They may be communicating, but more often than not, it is not with the entire team. There is typically a lot of discussion within the leadership team, so it feels like everyone should understand. The challenge is the group that needs to hear about may have only heard from leaders once or twice. A leader needs to clearly define not only the starting point, but the pathway and critical touch points to the desired state. So you define what it is, the end goal is, and then you list out how you're gonna get there, and you recognize your foreseen hurdles or things that you need to be in place for the next step to take place. Defining a pathway is fundamental to achieving the desired end state. A purposeful leader works to carefully define the pathway, eliminating any potential diversions and ensuring clarity. Another, the third thing is communicating via email. Things that cause conflict and ways to avoid them when dealing communicating via email. Because emails frequently lead to misunderstandings because it eliminates social cues. Things like tone of voice, eye contact, facial expression. All these things aid our understanding of the message. When email misunderstandings occur, people feel threatened and get defensive. And to avoid that, the solution is to, if there have been 3 emails exchanged and you haven't understood each other, make a phone call or walk down the hallway to the other office. Talk to the person in person, face to face. Get it? Talk to the person in person. Yeah, speak to them face to face and clarify your misunderstanding. When discussing professional goals, that can also lead to some conflict. Disconnects can often happen during feedback or performance reviews. And it is easy to relay information and negative connotation when you are in effect asking for something completely different. As an example, if someone says, I've worked too hard and too long for this pay, they probably mean they feel undervalued or that their work-life balance is out of order. Instead of jumping to a conclusion, always assume that the other party is coming from a position of positive intent. Adding that it is important to take what you know about the employee and read between the lines. Ensure you properly accept and respond to their message from this positive intent, and then coach them on how to better communicate their misunderstanding more effectively in the future. This is how you avoid the conflict in the workplace, because these things are the common things that cause the conflict. The last one would be getting third-person information. There's an old saying that too many cocks spoil the broth. We know that. And too many voices work in the same way when it comes to a message. It spoils it. You remember the game called Telephone? Yeah, it used to be called something else, but to be politically correct, they changed it. It's called Telephone, where one person whispers something. Everybody sits in a line of some sort or in a circle. And one person starts off the communication by whispering in the person next to them some type of message. And they pass it on. And you can only say it once. More often than not, by the time it comes back around, it has changed. And this is what they're talking about. Too many voices can spoil the message. A lot of misunderstandings at work happen when information is relayed between people. Someone says something, tells another person, that person talks to you. And it could be business related or company politics, but it usually leads to a misunderstanding. It is important to not jump to conclusions and get defensive. Go back to the original person and ask for clarification. Sometimes the middleman misinterprets excitement as frustration or anger. Or even worse, doesn't know the person well enough to pick up on important context or non-verbal cues. And then they relay the message incorrectly. Again, misunderstandings are common because the human brain is a sense-making machine. And it wants to know why someone did or did not do something. In the absence of information, we make up a motive. And more often than not, we're wrong. In all of these situations, the best way to mitigate is to stop and check with yourself when you think someone has intentionally wronged you. Ask yourself, how much hard evidence do you actually have to support your conclusion that the person has acted maliciously? If you don't have any, or you have very little, get curious. Ask the person some questions about why they did what they did. Assume positive intent until you have hard evidence that says something otherwise. When you do that, then more often than not, you'll be in a much better position. Because there'll be little or no conflict. Simple enough, right? I think so too. You see when things are supposed to play and they don't? Sure.
Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble.
This is the sound of Hezron.
Crosses people. Oh no, want see how me rumble. Hey, look, me put down me your gangster ways. Take up the Bible, put down the hard ways. God from Rasta and pagan ways. Out of nowhere, this boy misbehave. See me and me woman and a passing place. Lord of mercy, come take this case. Every time you come now, leave in a haze. So what you did there before they change me name. As if I did one time girl. He wouldn't be so pretty at all. He wouldn't be so pretty at all.
If it was one time gone,
one time gone,
it wouldn't be pretty at all. The sound of Hezron.
He wouldn't be so pretty at all.
Hey sis, welcome to the show. How you doing? The one and only lady song gracing us with her presence. You only came by for the amen, huh? That's okay. As we close out the JTMC sponsored segment,
one time girl. He wouldn't be so pretty at all. He wouldn't be so pretty at all. Lord, oh Lord, it's hard to be humble. Passes people. Oh, once you hold me rumble. Take me away from trouble, Lord, from ways of evil now. This boy won't draw me out. Turn me back in.
We have officially entered the Wake Up and Live segment,
As if I did one,
which is the final segment of the show.
he wouldn't be so pretty at all.
Sir Rockwell joins us in the morning at 7.
Say one time girl. He wouldn't be so pretty at all. He wouldn't be
Yes, at 7 Eastern time with the Wake Up and Live show. And with tomorrow being Thursday, it goes until 11. Somewhere around about 10:15, 10:20, the drive-by happens. Now, I'm pretty well behaved on my show. I go to his to cause trouble. Yeah, tell them not trouble me, you know. Leave I alone. So around about 10:15, 10:20, I pop into the Rock the Box studio and do what is called a drive-by. And I usually stick around to around about 10 to 11, 5 minutes to 11 when he says his goodbyes. So I pop in with just enough time to cause just enough trouble to last throughout the weekend. And later on down in the day, there's this amazingly wonderful soul that comes on and just calms the whole day down. Yeah, Lady Song. She's in the chat room. Just pop in and say hi. Everybody, just go to kevinstew.com and just type in the chat room, hi Lady Song. Lady Song comes on from 7 to 9. And, well, 7 to 10. And from 9 to 10, she's on rockthebox.com. But go to the Lady Song Facebook page, The Lady Song Show, and you get all the details there. She has quite the entertaining show. I promise you will not be disappointed. So, that's my plug for my sister from another mister. This is Kayla and Arnold. It's called The Crown. Wait a minute. You know, I just realized I said that. Listen, Melody, you're the only one that knows, okay? Nobody else picked up on it. Wow. Big up Barrington, leave it. I told my haters leave me alone, but if the shoe fits, put it on. Put it on, then sing my song. Oh, they try to shoot us down, they'll do anything for the crown. This world is upside down. Who ya bless, no man curse. So what's the reason that them try? Put me in a hearse. I ain't got no grief, I got a pen, I got words. I got truth that I serve, dirty vibes so I swerve. These haters get on my nerves, but I never shoot first. Cause if I did, night nurse. Tell me why they try to shoot us down. They'll do anything for the crown. This world is upside down. Oh, they try to shoot us down. They'll do anything for the crown. This world is upside down. So there are a couple of people that celebrate birthdays today. Kashif Lindo is one of them. Big ups to Kashif on your Earth dates.
You know, Kaylin Arnold, brother, son, they didn't see this one coming, you know. J-Vibe, Jamaica, here.
Yeah, J-Vibe Productions. And Dada Son label. Kaylin Arnold. So there are some people celebrating Earth dates today, and one of them in particular left the Earth a few years back. The King of Pop would have been celebrating his Earth dates today. Yeah, I haven't played this rhythm in a while.
Look stylish. Push up on the one, your body have the low mileage. And it's a long time, girl, me never see you. Come make me greet and hug you. It's a long time, girl, me never see you. Come make I man rubber dub you. Got a couple bottles so you know we can party. Couple more bottles, you and I get naughty. It's a long time, girl, me never see you. Come make I man rubber dub you. Come with the back, stop a business, then the liquor can't hold we. Champagne for Papa, shake up and make it through we. Now if you love this, I tune you pull it up and rewind it. Boom tune request, the no selector can't find it. Now it's a long time, girl, me never see you. Come make me greet and hug you. It's a long time, girl, me never see you. Come make a man rubber dub you. Yes, I got a couple bottles so we can party. Couple more drinks and you and me and a couple shorties. The long time, girl, me never see you. Come make a man rubber dub you. When the selector wheel it up and make the whole place hype. Girl kinda sexy, definitely my type. Say she look good on the dark and even cute on the lights. When come here, baby girl, we have a bubble on. And me and a up the girl when the disco light it did a fool me. Me and me liquor so to me she was a cutie. Pocket full of money and me kinda feel tipsy. No piece of me don't know about that thing you can't trick me.
Listen up from the dancing night. Every gully, every trench, every strip, just push up on the line.
This is Chris Martin.
I beg you push up on the line.
Vibe is right.
From the vibes feel right. Every man, woman, enjoy the dancehall vibe. Brace our whole night.
Yeah, this is how we're closing out the night week. 20 minutes to go.
Music I beat, the massive just a rock to the beat. Although the budget just read and things get hit, we still not accept defeat. I did Jamaican way, I just how we stay. We now make it lead, we astray. So when the weekend come, we pump up the fun and beat music night and day. From the dance it nice. Waterhouse TG matches lane put up on the line. my jackyard, but still I give thanks to the Lord. Still some of them are fraud, want run left yard. Them can't find a vibe, yeah, abroad. When money barely a flow, and pressure start grow. Give thanks for dance and sex show. And that's the dance our trend, but them I condemn. I can make money still I spend. God the dance it nice. Bouncy beat down dance and tell them we push up on the line. I know it nice, them ready, them ready now. Anyway, down in the ghetto when me born and raised. Life give me lemon and I made lemonade. And I swore to my friends if I make it I won't change. The money coming steady now.
Chris Martin double play.
It's just for the holidays. Different gal up bounce.
This one is called Life.
I tell you life every day is so amazing. Ready when we ready now. 5-star hotel, we no lane and no daisy. Highest grade up in the raw when we blazing. Penny pon the rocks car, we no do no chasing. Tell you say we ready now. For life, it's the most expensive thing I tell you. Life, everything is cheap once you can buy. But life, it's the most expensive thing I tell you. Life, but everything is cheap.
Me and me dogs, them roll clean, we a star out tonight. Girl wants grown up from the toast and night. Me table full of top shelf, me read a top flight. We live out.
This is Bounty Killer.
The girl them off the other shots, they calling it. The collector round and me yard, me gone with it. Yo,
Messiah the last son.
we go hard with
It's called When We Party.
when we party, the bar don't know. Pack it on and it can't turn off. Girl man, give it to the general. A double tap, come and she can't log off. Campari and rum in a flask. Plus the Ennis if it turn up the bar. We no broke like an in a cast. Can't come in a cross. Them fi know we no play around and we a spend. Turn anywhere in our ends. Cal beat curves have been up in all the ends. She no roll swallow, she bring a couple friends. Party light it shining power gems. No make we get dark like this as she lens. High grade but we picking from the stems. See the gal them shots, some pop shots, see them cars. When we party the bar don't know. Pack it on and it can't turn off. Gal man give it to the general. A double tap come and she can't log on. Campari and rum in a flask. Plus the Ennis if it turn up the bar. We no broke like an in a cast. Gal come in a cross. Let's go. Had a case of this, 6 of this, 3 of that. 3 round buckle and we well charged my 3 attack. 60 gal them in the place, we on the 3 attack. Them see the jeans and the G-set with them repeat your rock. Yo, we on another level with party thing. We have we win our money, we start with thing. Tell them tips it to me home, she start to bring. I'm more money, me a fling for the soft skin. When we party, the bar don't know. Pack it on and it can't turn off. Girl, man, give it to the general. A double tap, come and she can't log off. Campari and rum in a flask. Plus the Ennis if it turn up the bar. We no broke like an in a cast. Can't come in a crowd.
Girl, you got the moves, you got the juice, you got the flavor, got the sauce, oh yeah. Anywhere you wanna go, just say the word and you know I'm gonna take you there. You need somebody to mind you, to be the lost out to find you. Oh, I just wanna make you mine, so waste no.
This is the sound of King Charles.
Change your life.
It's called Juice. King Charles is the latest addition to the Code Red Band.
The sky's no limit. If you want to, you can be my queen, and I will be your king forever.
I just love the syncopation there.
If you want to, you can be my queen, and I will be your king forever. Oh yeah, girl, you got the moves, you got the juice, you got the flavor, got the sauce, oh yeah. Anywhere you wanna go, just say the word and you know I'ma take you there, oh yeah. You need somebody to remind you, if you're lost I'll find you. Oh, I just wanna make you mine, so if you want to, you can be my queen, and I will be your king forever. If you want to, you can be my queen, and I will be your king forever.
the world, but I mean.
This is how we're closing on the night shift week this week.
We touch it like rain or fall.
Can you feel the bounce?
She want to touch her. A rasta she want, a rasta she want to touch her. Yeah. So I touch her in the morning, touch her in the evening. Good loving from the rasta man she receiving. Loyal empress, and me know she no deceiving. She a blaze, movie is fine, dinner is fine, but right now she need to unwind. It's touching time. She tell me say I touching time. So my come in house and money and vehicle. I mean she want to touch her. So my buy her fancy things and take her on the world, but I mean she want to touch her. When we touch it's like rain or fall. I mean she want to touch her. A rasta she want to touch her. A blind, she feel like she wanna fly. But she never yet been so high. She's in love, she cannot deny. Oh me, oh my, oh me, oh my. Rasta I give her more than text. Stimulate her mind, body, soul, intellect. Take her to some place that she never been yet. See some things that she never seen yet. She said me want you bingy trust me. She said me need you bingy touch me. She said me want you bingy trust me. She said me need you bingy touch me.
13 minutes to the top.
Some money and vehicle.
So I have about 12 before I get out here.
So man buy her fancy things and take her on the world, but I mean she want to touch her. When we touch it's like rain fall. I mean she want to touch her. A rasta she want to touch her. Well then hear me now. Oh yo, she on the food pan plate. Now bend down low, she want elevate. Blah 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 and them not penetrate. Now the rasta pass you and she start celebrate. See what you're seeing and do what you're doing. Cause she's got something, hey, hey, that money can buy. So I come with house and money and vehicle. But I mean she want to touch her. So I buy her fancy things and take her on the world. But I mean she want to touch her. When we touch it's like rain or fall. I mean she want to touch her. A rasta she want to touch her. Touch her, touch her, touch her, touch her, touch her, touch her.
Oh, Kevin, you're so good.
Last one to run, first to defend. Come menace the sun to me.
This is the sound of Hezron and Louis Culture. It's called Warriors Heaven. Before that, we heard from Bingy Blaze, Rasta Touch. South Florida artist produced by Kevin Gitz.
Straight from the lineage of King David. To me, he was a hero. To some, he was their sorrow. Why? Where do the warriors go? Is there a place where the streets are paved with gold? Milk and honey flowing from the fountains. There it is. Is there a warrior's heaven? I'm a small and I'm growing, I think no one. Where do the warriors go? Is there a place where a man born to defend, ready to give his life for a friend? Is there a warrior's heaven? Why? There must be a place for the warriors who broke down the barriers to rest their souls. Must be a place that is warm for the buffalo soldiers coming in from the cold. Must be a place for the brave and the bold where the unsung hero stories are told. Must be a place where the truths unfold as the billows roll. I read about it from the ancient scroll. Coming at this one we live where politics here, and the people of the higher society don't care. While the rapers and the killers of the people them scared. The justice declare and the place get repaired. See all of them the good things to see you make happen. It hurt me to see your body lay down in a coffin. But all when your bones them rotten. You're gone but you're never forgotten. And though society offers no better father, no better promise, they say you are a bad man. No, as for me, 1,000 times salute to a true warrior. Sometimes tell me, where do the warriors go? make it go. Everything honey flowing from the fountains. Everything is there for what you said. Why? No way, no, not gonna lower mine for the money. No way, no.
9 minutes to the top of the hour. This is the sound of Andrew Latouche.
Just run away.
The track is called No Way.
What's this you want me to do? No, I can't be like you. Can't alone my standards for you where gotta go through yourself. You have no power over me. No, not when you're me. I serve the Almighty. He takes care of me. He gave me humility. Yeah, means poverty. And I work hard for bread. No, you'll never see me begging. No way, no, not gonna lower man for the money. No way, no, through it all I know the Lord will feed me. He'll feed me. I am gonna stay God's way only. Just run away,
No way, no.
recession is causing the pain. Now I can't get my
The depths in the lyrics of this song here.
God is always here. Life is full of sadness. I wanna feel some gladness.
I remember the first time I heard him do this.
Milk and honey for me, oh yes.
It was actually the first time I heard it.
My friend, even I hold on to the end. I know it's hard to face.
It was in church.
Satan wants you distracted.
And he had to pull up the tune. Big ups Andrew wherever you are right now, bro.
I know some man and what I'm capable of doing. I try everything in the book just to see your life flowing.
I got 5 more minutes. Which means I have this track. The one after that. And maybe one more. This is Bugle. A track called Real Survivor. Once again, I want to thank you, each and every one, for tuning in. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for sticking throughout the week. I want to encourage you to look out for your neighbors. Look out for members of your community. And remember, your neighbor is not just a person that lives in your development, but the person that you pass on the bus, on the plane, on the boat, on the train. They walk, ride, or drive. These are your neighbors. Do something good for one of them today, because you never know who's gonna do something good for you tomorrow. My name is DJ Kevin Stew. This is how I like to do it to you, for you, and with you. I come back on Monday, right after Marlon, with the Real Rockers show at 10 p.m. Eastern time. Monday I do community and finance. And I should have the runner-up in the county commission race in Palm Beach County.
You achieve nothing at all. Always try bring.
Sylvia Sharps will be joining me on Monday.
Guess them small.
Yep, I found out today.
You like Delhi, I'm bugle style. Ever rising, uprising. Them just realize it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She wanna be my bonafide. From the first time she get my
This is the sound of Deville, aka Tori Mason.
she told me to give her my love that she's needed so long.
So this is the love.
This is the love that she searched for. She's got that crush and they're feeling so strong.
Last thing I want to encourage you guys to do as we go into the strong end, be good. But if you can't be good at it.
Speak volumes, believe me, no be.
Remember, coming up on Saturday,
I wanna give you all of me, yeah, yeah.
Paint and Sip.
You don't have to say a lot, it's telepathic. We've got the same energy. Oh, yeah, wait. She told me to give her my love that she's needed so long. This is the love.
You definitely don't want to miss it.
She's got that grudge.
It happens at 7768 Northwest 44th Street in Sunrise. Zip code 33351.
She travel first class and come for me.
That's right there by 44th and University.
She feeling me, she feel happy. Tell me she now leave my company.
Inside the Moment to Remember studio.
You don't have to say a word, it's telepathic. We've got the connection.
Do your RSVP before you go. In fact, book your spot by tomorrow, by Friday.
This is the love that she searched for. She's got that crush, and they're feeling so strong. And I've got the love that she searched for. Follow me now. Says she need my loving and she don't need another. Still wanna pick me up a twin brother. I've got the good touch. Abracadabra. Touch her in the place and make she.
I'm out of here, y'all.
When we go so.
Take care. Until next week, peace and love.
We've got the same energy. She told me to give her my love that she needed so long. This is the love that she searched for. She's got that crush and they're feeling so strong. And I've got the love that she searched for. She told me to give her my love that she needed so long. This is the love that she searched for.
When being in the moment is priceless, consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse E-Media Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse E-Media Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulseemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse E-Media Group, when being in the moment is priceless.